distinguished delegate, Mr. Chair, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to all. First of all, let me say that the International Labour Organization abides fully by the Sendai Framework principles, fundamental principles, and contributes to the UN Plan of Action for Disaster Risk Reduction implementation. Now, the Sendai Framework marked a shift away from disaster management towards disaster risk management and from a primary focus on recovery to additional emphasis on prevention and preparedness. The ILOs, International Labour Organization, Decent Work Agenda, including a rights-based and employment-centered response to disaster, is a key dimension of national and international efforts to realize the Sendai goals. The normative framework for employment and decent work responses to conflict and disasters to be adopted very soon at the International Labour Conference in June 2017 will provide the updated guidance needed for such a comprehensive action adapted to local and national circumstances. We know too well that efforts to eradicate poverty and to achieve the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals will remain elusive so long as disasters, whether of sudden nature or developing at a slow pace, erode people's sources of livelihoods, assets, jobs, and businesses, triggering instability and displacement. Their impact is significant, particularly in fragile settings, with often long-term structural implications on governments and institutional capacity for resilience. The ILO's experience of technical cooperation with countries and tripartite constituents, governments, employers, and workers' organizations in disaster-prone countries clearly shows the importance of an employment-centered agenda in prevention and preparedness, and for strengthening the resilience of nations and communities. It also points to the role that young women and men can play as proactive agents of change for recovery, preparedness, and prevention when empowered and supported. This role, however, is often hampered by the increasing difficulties young women and men face in accessing decent work opportunities and in contributing to local and national development. More than 70 million young people are unemployed worldwide, and around 40% of the world's active youth population is either unemployed or living in poverty, despite being employed. 6 out of 10 working youth in fragile settings are engaged in informal employment or do not earn enough to lift themselves, their families, and their community out of poverty. We believe a paradigm shift that puts youth at the center of prevention and resilience by focusing on their education, skills, and employment opportunities, and that enables their full engagement in local and national disaster risk management is the most effective way forward. The Cancun Platform for Disaster Risk Reduction provides the excellent opportunity to identify and promote concrete action in this respect. The recently launched Global Initiative on Decent Jobs for Youth and its priority focus on youth in fragile settings is a multi-stakeholder partnership that we will realize together and will also allow such a paradigm shift by garnering collaboration of governments, social partners, private sector, youth organizations, and 22 United Nations entities to scale up impact and action. This is an action platform that puts focus on youth at the center of humanitarian and development action and promotes the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals with action on climate change and follow-up on the Sendai Framework. Global humanitarian and development action should tackle natural and man-made risks with increased effectiveness. In parallel, a people-centered approach should be nurtured, helping local governments
Time, please.
with bottom-up initiatives, supporting the needs and aspirations of local populations, especially young people. Ladies and gentlemen, I conclude here, but I wish again to thank the government of Mexico for this wonderful event, for this great opportunity for all of us, and of course, ISDR for the excellent organization. Thank you.